Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode, MLS Week 7. I'm joined here with Jorge Martinez from The Exchange, Steve Remiley from TMV Clothing, and of course, Christian Ortiz from Salvador Network. We're here to talk about the New York Red Bulls victory 2-1 against the Chicago Fire, our third win of the season. We saw a team that changed the lineup completely with five different players. Serge Ngoma, Tim Parker, Felipe Carvalho make their first start of the 2025 season. And then we have Omar Valencia and Mohamed Sofo back in the starting lineup. My friends, how are you guys doing today?
My man, good. Ready to get this going. Good week of games. You saw a lot of great things out of the Red Bull. You saw a lot of terrible things out of NYCFC. So I'm ready to rock tonight.
My
Let's
friend Steve, what's going on?
let's go, boys. It's still early season jolt. Long way to go. 34 games. We at week 7. Let's go, boys. Good start. 2-1 for Red Bulls. I thought it was gonna be 3-2, so it's okay, Christian. I know you had 3 goals in your mind.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was pretty excited to get 3 points. I know Jorge last week was like, you know what, you might just get one, but I was
Yeah.
a little ambitious. I wanted the 2-0. It was 2-1. Two big first half goals. Um,
But then
but
that's it.
but yeah,
Yeah.
that we can start with that. Obviously,
I love it.
the first half, I think it was a little bit difficult to break down Chicago. They actually scored the first goal of the game, but I feel like the lineup was probably one of the biggest topics of the week. Uh, what did you guys think about Sandro making the changes? All these players that started on Saturday against Chicago, and then going with a back four.
He
Yeah.
he, he must have been watching the show.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say the same thing. Chris, you were complaining. Look at Sandro delivered.
Thank God, my man Omar Valencia. Omar Valencia and Carlos Coronel made it for the team of the week, by the way. So
Nice.
congrats to
Nice.
them. Um, Jorge, just talk to me. What are some things that you saw in the first half? We'll get to the second half in a bit, but just what were your overall thoughts of the game and the first 45 minutes?
Okay, so the first 45 minutes, I thought that it started off like it's always been, very slow. But I think at some point you're going to start off slow and you're not going to be able to bounce back. So you're lucky that it was a team that was on the road. Like you can't pull this shit on the road. You would lose this game. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
would lose this game. But I think the way that they ended the second half, they turned it on, but then they died out. I mean, going into the second half, they died out. They scored their 2 goals late in the first, and then they like fizzled out. I think that's still something that's very scary. And again, Carlitos, you got to give him the bag soon. When are you going to sign him? When are you going to give him a contract? He's the reason why he's keeping you in these games.
yeah, big save in the 86th minute. But before we go into that, Steve, your overall thoughts of the game, the first 45 minutes. What did you see?
Yeah, I thought we maintained well the first, few minutes of the game coming off a bad loss. We just wanted to play clean. It's always great when you can have Serge Ngoma start and Carballo start. So I think those are two big things that pop out. And Sofo. And now it's starting to get a little bit. This is the first time I think all season where those big pieces were there to start a game. So that was really good. So I had faith that we would get it together. It sucks going down 1-0, but Chicago's been a good road team. I don't think they've dropped a lot of road points. So getting a win against them was really good for us. Sofo impressed. I mean, it was good to see him back. But it yeah, like Jorge said, we're gonna pay for this, and that's why we haven't been a good road team because we have been going down 1-0, and then we can't really scrap it together. And at home, it seems like we have good form. We feel confident in our game to get back into games if we do go down. We've seen it multiple times. Um, Now, even when in the Toronto game where Toronto levels it and then we answer. So it's good that this team likes to play at home. I just wish we could translate this game onto the road now. We're going to see that next week.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that stood out, at least from the first half, was the pressure. You touched on Sofo, and I think Sofo was key, was very instrumental in complicated things for Chicago with the pressing. And the difference is that, we had Raheem Edwards, and in the
He's just such a
lineup.
dub.
Yeah, the thing is that the thing.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, what was the difference in on that side with Omar? What did you see from Omar?
Dude, listen, man. It's honestly, I wasn't worried when play started going back there. Edwards at times looks lost,
Uh-huh.
almost like
Yeah.
he's not comfortable.
Uh-huh.
But they looked great, dude. They looked great. I think they
Yeah.
sorted out, dude. The key, and I spoke to him at the beginning of the week. I mean, I spoke to him at training, was Tim Parker. And he was saying how he was trying to work his way back into the starting lineup. That's a guy that should be starting. I know everybody's like hack, hack, hack. He should be starting. He showed it. He's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's going to be an
Tim had
X
a good
factor if he
game.
starts.
I love this depth. I love it. I love it's a good problem to have. I want guys wanting to start in the lineup because that was always the thing with some of these Red Bull teams is that like everyone would get kind of comfortable in their starting position. Like we had our starting lineup, and that was kind of it. There really wasn't any threat to anyone's game. So it makes you kind of want to step up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Not only do you want to beat them, but you want to hold your role within the lineup now. Like that's a good problem to have. Like Sean Neals needs to be aware and hack too, because it's good to have Tim Parker there. I mean, and that's what our strength is too right now. So it's good to have Carlos making those saves and not letting up a lot of goals. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I think we've only let up 2 goals as most in these games. You got to fact check me there, but that's pretty solid for this young team and this young back line, especially with Noah Ayla and Omar Valencia, still a young, growing player. So he's got to be up in the depth chart. Edwards definitely drops in, and we see Kyle Duncan return. So
Yeah, and what I think that this lineup, this four-man back line does is that it helps with the coverage on both sides. And I think Noah Islet too, who probably is one of the best defenders, best young defenders in MLS. And I'm saying that with confidence because uh, every single game he just shows his ability to defend and also in the attack. The way he distributes the ball in different ways, whether he drives and finds a quick pass, and then also with the long balls, he can do wonders. But going back to what I was saying is that we were able to cover on the wings, something that last week we spoke about against New England. We suffered. They teared us apart. And having somebody as quick as Valencia and Noah paired up on that side, you weren't gonna get through. And I think
Yeah.
Tim, I think for the most part, this formation is what helps him. I also think that maybe with speed, he's probably not the best option. He'll give you the same as Sean Neal is, but with the back four, it's just enough for him to be there closing in on plays, making sure that the players don't get any shots. And I think I saw that in the first half at least, and the second half as well. Um, One thing also that I wanted to point out, I think, like I said, the pressing cues. We were so good at the structure, at the way we kind of presented ourselves against them, because Tim Parker said it in the press conference after the match. The principles, the back three is still the same. Why did it stay the same? Is because you had either Omar Valencia, Noah Isla, and Tim Parker staying real close, a three-man backline, and
yeah,
then Dylan covering on the side, pushing up. So when Dylan is up, Omar stays down. And when the ball was on Omar's side, Omar pushed up and Dylan stayed down. So there was always three in the back. The only problem was that in the first half, when Chicago scored that first goal, Felipe Carvalho loses the ball. He gives the ball away, a quick turnover, and in that side, Dylan is way up high, so he couldn't help Tim Parker. And then when they scored,
yeah.
there was nothing we can do. Go
He
ahead,
just
Jorge.
got caught
But
out.
that's like the gift and a curse of playing with an attacking defenseman. It has to be somebody who's quick on both. Like Tolkien was great because he was fast.
Yes.
And he could do both. These guys that you're asking that from aren't the guys that are going to do it. Noah is the guy that I think could do it, but I think the other guys can't do it.
Now, um, I think we still have problems creating. I think like we struggle in their third half getting a shot off. I mean, Chupa does really well, trying to find people to pass the ball to. But did you see anything that prevented us from scoring in that first half before the Chicago goal.
Was there any chances? Like good
Not
chance?
many. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
can't think of one in my head. And then that's
No.
that's that's when I go back to what you said, Jorge. You said that like it was still pretty difficult to break this Chicago team in the first half.
They only had 7 shots on net, 6
7 shots.
shots on target.
I do think that Serge Ngoma was doing wonders whenever he had the ball. Where he had the drive, he had the ability to find those passes, those players connecting. He was very quick, man. The way mentally and physically.
I forget how good he was.
Yeah, he was
Like
amazing. We
yeah,
remember we had to
yeah.
because we had to think back a few years. But yeah, he always had this ability, and then the fact that he can finish too. I mean, I just think about that night against Atlanta where he scored in the 90th minute, and he
Hmm.
like ran past everybody and like just fucking blew by them. And
Yeah,
we saw that, and then he chipped the keeper. Like he was just so he made it look so easy. And then we were like, oh, this kid's gonna be like on fire for us all season, and then he got hurt, and the rest. So yeah, no, I called it last week. I'll give your boy some credit. Told you
yeah.
Serge was gonna
See,
score. So it's good to see Serge get on the board with the header. So that was really good. Can't lie, I'm impressed, and I that's a big spot for him, and we need him this year. We said that this was his year. That if he got hurt again, he
yeah,
could be on the out.
yeah. But how big was it for him to get his first start and score his first goal
That's
of the
huge.
season?
Yeah,
That's huge.
it's huge. It's good for all these guys. Sofo gets his moment. Serge gets his moment now. We have a Tim Parker moment too. So I'm loving all these little storylines coming together. And you see the way the guys celebrate too after Choupo scoring and Neil jumping on him, Sofo with the arm around him. Those are the little things, those little details. You know that this team is a close team. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And that's
everybody's
that's
there.
really important in that locker room. You know, what's building in there to hopefully build up to something like another cup run. I don't want to speak
So
soon, but
it's funny you said that because I was telling Chris that on the other side of the river this weekend when I was at the game press conference, since the Matt Freese and
Daryl
Thiago
Martin.
Martin's little tiff, I felt even though they lost and the way that they lost, that there is like an animosity there
Mhm.
that you could feel like even just like asking these guys questions that they leave, they're like so defeated. And I'm like, that's so hard to bounce back from something like that.
yeah,
Because you would think that last week after the way that they played with New England, it was probably tough to get back into the groove of like,
especially with Sandro kind of like calling the team out as well.
but also Chicago being good. I mean, we thought Chicago
Yep.
was going to come in a little better.
Yeah,
Well, Chicago did not lose a single game on the road. Actually, they won all of their games, just like
yeah,
Steve mentioned.
yeah.
They have won all of them, and this was a tough game. Like this is a good opponent. Yes, they were in without Brian Gutierrez. I think the ex Philly guy. What was his name? The defender. He wasn't there too. Well, actually, hold on. I do have to point something out. Um, we were losing 1-0, and I think I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but Sam Rogers, I think is his name, the center back of Chicago, gets hurt. The center back, and I feel like that took them out of rhythm. I think it was some organization there, and then Gonzalez goes in.
He's
A-
old.
and yeah, exactly. So the play where Chupo scores, he's a little bit late on closing in on him. And Chupo has enough time. Well, it's actually mental quickness too, but he has enough time to flick the ball over so Dylan can make the run, and we earn ourselves a penalty. But that all of the things that happened, the goal from Serge, the run of play to head the ball in, all happened after that injury. Now, I don't want to take credit away from the Red Bulls.
No, good,
Um,
good catch there.
yeah, but I think it had something probably to do with that player being out. Uh, but good for the Rebels because that's when you got to take advantage.
Yep. Yeah,
That's when you
exactly.
have to do it.
I don't
Um,
think it's a conspiracy. I think you're right on point with that.
oh, thank you, man. Make me.
Oh,
Oh,
conspiracy
no,
Chris.
no,
I
no,
think you're
but
right on point with that. It
I
does mess up your rhythm, and playing with the center back, that's like that's your stronghold right there. Those are your two kings and queens. So It'd be like, Noah going out and someone coming in cold, like you said, a little bit
Oof.
older, a little bit slower. And then our boys were fast. We pressure. So I think that's where we were able to take advantage.
Yeah, I have to ask you about that the penalty. What you guys think of that? I think it was a Panenka. I think some people were saying it wasn't, but your overall thoughts over that chip.
That wasn't a Panenka.
He chipped it in the middle.
Christian's trying to claim it though. He was like, "Yo, it was kind of a chip. It was kind of right down the middle." But he fooled him either way. He was like feeling like he was gonna just hit it to either side, and he hit it down the middle. But like, shout out to Emil and Chupo, and that's what I'm saying. Like the vibe is good. Like it's fluid. Like I take one, you take one. I'm confident you're gonna nail it. So I love it, man. Chupo, bro.
Dude, Chupo's
Or
the best player on the team.
Chupo is it's been amazing, man. In the hold up play, the clutch goals. So I know a few of them had penalties, but I think
You
there's
still
only
got to
more to
make
come.
those.
Yeah, I know. There's only more to come too. And I was telling Chris, I don't want to look back in hindsight and be this guy too. But if we had Chupo against that LA Galaxy team,
No,
oh, I mean,
no, no, no. Nobody was beating them.
I don't
The
know. I
issue,
don't know. I
the
think
issue
that
wasn't the team. The issue wasn't the team. The issue is the guys, the best players on the team didn't do the best. They did their best every day until then. Carlos
I,
had the worst game ever in the playoffs.
well
yeah,
in the final, yeah.
Reyes was your best player, and
in the final, yeah.
he fucking did the fucking B rabbit, bro. He got scared.
Yep. No, you're right. With Reyes
You
dishing
know,
out, and
no, they
then
weren't beating them, bro. They weren't beating them. LA was just, dude. They were a fucking crazy team, bro.
But look at them now, right? It's kind of sucks because
Yeah,
And that's all I was trying to point out. It just seems like now they're kind of in a little bit of a turmoil, but I still think it's still early, and I know I keep saying that, but it is, and especially in this league where
it's gonna
a
be
lot.
week 15. He's gonna be like, I know it's early.
No, 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 no. I'll tell you when it's done. I said June. My mark is June, really, where that's the bulk of the season right there.
So in June, it's like it's not
It's
early anymore, guys.
exactly. You got Leagues Cup, you got U.S. Open Cup,
I can't
but
wait for that. I can't wait till those games are played in Montclair. I can't wait to go to them. I
me
love
too.
those
the
games.
Me
the
too.
Open Cup, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love those
And
games.
that's why it's like a little bit mundaneness in this beginning, and that's why it's all just about getting the results, picking up points. It's still early April. It's still fucking 45 degrees out. I don't know how. But we get through it, boys. A day at a time, and it's good to see Red Bulls keep winning. We're still kind of down on the table, and for NYCFC, I know they're down in the table, but for them, it's like we didn't expect much from them, and I know their situation is not looking too bright, but they can still add things. They haven't done enough in the transfer market. It's been very obvious. It's been reported on, and they might miss out on one of the biggest fish ever in Kevin De Bruyne, and that would be a travesty, really.
Well, I
It's
think
not gonna happen.
this league is tough as you can see yesterday actually Toronto played a good game against Inter Miami over
And
there.
then
So
they
it's
go
it's tough.
maybe the goal of the year.
Yeah, Puskas, bro. I mean, that the way he dribbled through that defense in the box and found that shot, it was a great goal. But it's a tough league. You can't go in thinking we're gonna beat everybody. It's tough.
Yep.
We suffered against New England and we play against one of the good teams. They were fourth before
Yep.
we in the standings.
Yep.
So before we play them, so Chicago is still a very good team, a tough team. Um, Chupo, you mentioned it just quickly. 4 goal contributions in the last 4 games. We kept saying it. I hope people are listening, huh?
Dude, listen to me. That guy, even when he's not scoring, he is doing something, moving away, moving the ball, getting the ball to somebody that is making something else happen for somebody else to be completely wide open. If that person does not finish, that's on him. But Chopo has been doing everything that you need somebody to do when you have that much hype around the signing. Dude, he has been amazing.
Yeah.
People want to say ML's the guy. Chopo's the guy.
Yeah. Well, I equally so still right now. No, but Chupo's been great. I mean, a no-brainer starter too. I mean, we didn't have that last year. Remember, we were flip-flopping. Ilias, Dante. Now it's a no-brainer. Throw number 13, Chupo out there. And that's so great to have. I mean, he's been everything I expected and then some. The goals and the
I did.
contributions. Yeah,
I was
you know,
expecting.
I was asking everybody, I was like, how much do we expect from him? How many goals? And people were saying like around the 10 mark, and I think it's going to be well over 10. I think it's going to be, closer to 20. What do you think, Christian?
Wow. Oh my God. No,
Chris.
it's I think it's still hard to say because I think we lack in creativity though. I think we use him a lot. He's a reference up top, but we still need to figure out what we're doing. I think if we continue to have Serge on the field, you saw what he did in the second half, how he made that run through the middle and found a pass to leave Chupo one on one with the goalkeeper. Those are the
Mm,
plays that he needs.
yep.
If he's getting that type of service 3, 4 times in a game, one of them is gonna go in. So then I can agree with you. You know what? He's probably gonna get 15 and plus. But if right now what we're doing is find Chupo. We create up top in their half with Chupo. Then he
Yep.
has to move around and find that space. It's tough. It's tough. But if
Yep.
he's able to do like in transition, we can find him more. Dude, he's gonna be definitely a 15,
And,
20,
and we haven't
20
seen
goals
that, and we
guy.
haven't seen that probably since BWP, like literally.
Yes, yes. So I mean,
Somebody made
they
that
said
comment
Morgan.
today too.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody mentioned Morgan to me. Morgan had 15 plus, but he wasn't really, he's like a winger forward.
Yeah, Morgan's a winger. He wasn't expected to score more than 15. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. So if Chupo can get to that number, he at 35, I think that's something to admire. I think that's something that we didn't have. I didn't have in my bingo card for some
Yeah.
reason. Just, I'm just negative Nancy here. But he's doing solid. I think he's been one of the best players in the team, and you can tell Emo's always looking for him. Always looking to create something with him, and then we can connect more. I think here what we haven't mentioned enough is Serge Ngoma. Serge Ngoma, when healthy, this guy can be a connector, somebody that can push the attack for this team.
We said it last week that, the week before he came out and he was a crazy little menace for the 3 minutes he was out there. A
Mm-hmm.
menace. He was a menace. The
Mm-hmm.
week before when he went down hurt, he was a menace.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now that you put him out there for a little bit, that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to move. He could start to get comfortable, take a couple whacks from guys. Um,
Yeah.
start pushing his numbers a little bit, and this is what you're going to get. And I don't think that's the end that we're going to see of him. I think we're going to see a lot of good things. If I was Lewis Morgan sitting out watching all of this, I'd be very worried.
Say it. I love it. I
I'm
love it
not.
that you mentioned it.
Yeah, but it's a luxury. Like I said, I think yeah, you could be worried about contracts and whatever else might happen moving forward. Yes, but for this year, I ain't complaining as a fan because I've been wanting this depth for forever. I want options off the bench. I want to. I mean, it's going to be some tough choices moving forward when you're like, who do I start? Who do I sub in? Because Serge looks good when he starts. But then when you have a healthy Lewis Morgan back, and you have Sofo, and you have Cam Harper, you know, it's going to be tough. I know the I get that perspective, but as a fan, I like having this because it just gives Chupo and Emil different little variations to find out what our best starting lineup is.
And I think Serge on that right side is probably looking to take Cam Harper's spot, Dennis Ganger's spot. Lewis, I think, maybe has that opportunity because Sofo is right now the guy that's playing that position.
Hmm.
But Sofo helps out in this formation because, like I mentioned from early in the show, putting that pressure is what helps us win those second balls and push forward, push our numbers up. So I don't know. I think I agree with you, Jorge, too. Like if I'm watching, where is Lewis Morgan gonna fit in? Obviously, he has the seniority, he has the respect. I think Sandro rates him very highly. He's probably gonna be given that opportunity. But I don't know, man. I think our Rebels two guys are putting up a good fight to earn that starter spot. So, but the good thing is that before I forget, Cam Harper it actually was available, right, on the bench.
No.
Somebody can help me? No. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So he was questionable before the game, but he wasn't on
Yeah.
the bench. Okay. And then Dennis was available, but he started as a substitute. So that's good to know that our players are coming back. The numbers continue to decrease in the in the injury report. And then also we heard that Lewis Morgans should be back training in 3 weeks. At least that's what the Apple TV people were saying. So that's a good thing, man.
I
That's a good
asked
thing.
for him this week.
And what happened?
So I said, listen,
Hmm.
I said, I want to talk to him. I know he's here doing like recovery. Dude, it turns out those guys come in from 5 to 3,
5 a.m.
5 a.m.
Wow.
They're there
Wow.
starting rehab 5 to 3.
Why do they make you come in early?
That's
I wonder
crazy,
why.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Crazy.
Sandra was talking about how he would find Carl Duncan already like doing exercises
Yeah,
and
they're
rehab
there
work.
5 a.m. So I'm like, dude,
Wow.
from where he lives, he has to be waking up at like 4 a.m., 4:15, getting there, rehabbing and
Is
training or whatever. But like, that's wild. When I heard that, I'm like, that's crazy. Because I was like, give him to me after. If he's not done, he's like, dude, no, he leaves. I'm like, damn, that's a long day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the sacrifice I guess that they have to make. I'm pretty sure they're working on so many things. I know
Yeah.
that when Marcelo was when Marcelo was working on his rehab, he was doing different things, and then I had to wait until he gets out of like a cold bath, and then he will go back in again. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that the mechanics, but props to the physios because I didn't expect Lewis Morgan to be back. I didn't expect Cam Harper to be questionable. So I think it's good that they're coming back sooner than expected. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's getting less and less people on that list.
yeah,
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 but this is
yeah.
what you need for a championship squad too, and that's what we're going after, no? And at by the time we even get to playoffs, who's going to even still be healthy?
I was
Okay,
about to say that.
Yeah,
again, and that's why I even told Serge too. I was like, look, man, don't rush anything if you're actually not feeling it, And he took that extra game. He didn't start in New England, and now he came back fully healthy, started this week, and he scored a goal. And there's going to be more opportunities for these guys. We got 2 cup competitions that we are going to take serious this year, and we're taking the league serious with a fourth place aim in mind, and that takes depth. It takes camaraderie, and I hope this team, is okay with letting some other guys get some minutes. With the young guys get some minutes, and then you trickle in with the older guys too. We got that good balance. That's what it's all about.
and now that you mentioned minutes, Wiki Carmona subbed in, Dennis Gangar subbed in. Um, I think Wiki looked solid when he came on in the second half. I think he was doing defensively a lot of sacrifice runs, a lot of putting
He's so
pressure on.
inconsistent, though.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the attack wise, I think he was keeping it simple. At least he was doing that, which is something that I like. Like, if you want to build confidence, pass the ball and move, pass the ball and move. And I think he was doing that. I like to see that instead of like trying to create something and give the ball away, and they're attacking in our end. So, he still needs a lot to work on. But just briefly touch on the second half because I do agree that we got a little bit complacent and we kind of just held on. The roles change.
Mm.
Chicago started attacking. Now we were looking for the counter.
Yeah, I didn't like that, but it's
I'm
kind of
on the
to be
same.
it's kind of to be expected, and we're just looking for in a lot of these wins lately that third goal just to help us ease that worry in the back of our mind we might let up an equalizer. It's tough seeing the team kind of shell up like that. It happens when you go up a goal, but I was still expecting the Red Bulls to get that third goal, and they're going to need it because it's not always going to turn out this way.
Yeah, and we can't always rely on Carlos Coronel to save us in the last minutes of the game.
Exactly. Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. And if we
That's
had a third goal, well, then all right, whatever, a second goal goes in for them, but we still win the game.
that's a big problem. Listen, we give Carlos his flowers every week.
Yep.
And here's the thing that like everybody gives him his flowers every week. It's just us. Everybody that talks Red Bulls, everybody that talks MLS, they talk Carlos. And Carlos, again, I say it every week. I don't know what the fuck the Red Bull are waiting for. You got to give the guy at least another 2 years. You gave Ryan that for a little bit, right? Like he just
Yeah.
stuck around. Let Carlos be that guy. He's keeping you in these games in this season. He took you to the final. Like, dude, like there is no reason why you should not be giving him the bag.
He's definitely earning that paycheck. I can tell you that. Funny story. I don't know if you guys got to hear it in the press conference after the match. Sandro was asked about Carlos, and Sandro talks how he had a conversation with Carlos in training. I believe it was either a Friday or a Thursday. Anyways, he wasn't happy with what he was showing in the training session, so he criticized him. And then the next day, he's able to put on a show against Chicago. Just talk to me about Sandro's ability to call those things out.
It's different coaching styles. Sandro's trying to push the right buttons, trying to push Carlos to the best potential he could be because we know he can be great, and I think he'll really cash out if Red Bull give him the right contract. And I think that Sandro, we're kind of seeing his coaching style a little, unfold here, and it's not always the nicest, and I think that's okay. That they're holding each other accountable. Might not always be the nicest thing. Sandro coming off a little bit different, maybe because he's German, whatever. He's got how he pronounces or how he says things is not always like the most calming or delivery. You know what I mean? It's very intense, and you could maybe take things the wrong way pretty easily. I can see that. But if it has the right intentions, and we know Sandro means well, and he's a good tactician, that he's only trying to help these players. So I like it.
Yeah,
Jorge?
I think you need that. I see, too many situations where they're too, how do I say this? Coaches are scared to talk about their players out in the public
Yeah.
because then obviously we run with the story. It's on the Southward Network. Sandro says this guy sucks, right?
Yeah.
And then here we go, right? I think that's something that a lot of coaches and a lot of teams get nervous about. But I
Uh-huh.
think it could be done in the right way, and I think that he does it in the right way. But honestly, like, how could you train bad? Like, when we go there to training, he's like the first one out on the field.
I wonder what happened. Maybe he wasn't understanding what Sandra was asking of him. But honestly, everybody out there is humble, professional. They put their heads down and listen. Even Raheem Edwards, when I talked to him, he mentioned Sandro tells me to do something in a specific way, and I have to follow what he says because that's his way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna be benched.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. I wish there was more detail. Maybe we can ask him on that. But I think we are. The good thing is that you came from a loss against New England, so now the intensity is at another level, and
Yeah.
we want you to be at a hell because the way you practice is how you're expected to perform.
Yep. And they said that midweek. They said it on those little vlogs that they post. That
Yeah.
we got to bring that intensity even more this week. So I think that was part of the reason. But I'll try not to read into that too much. I mean, it's a goalie at the end of the day. They have a goalie coach, so maybe Sandro just putting in his 2 cents and just wanting more intensity, like you said.
So we were able to hold on to the 2-1 lead, earn our third victory, undefeated at home, 3 wins, one draw. That draw against Orlando, and yeah, I think we continue to be a fortress at home. But now Sanders looking to,
Yeah.
get some points away on the road.
You have to.
You have to. Before we, I don't know if we're gonna have enough time, but I definitely do want to touch on the biggest transfer rumor that has come to Red Bulls, which is the possible signing of 35-year-old Bayern Munich legend Thomas Mueller. Boys, you got each 2 minutes and a half to say what you want to say about it.
Another 35-year-old. I don't know if he's going to come to Red Bull, but I hope he comes to the league. I don't think it's going to happen for Red Bull. I think our shot is still with Timo Werner if we're going to sign a German international.
What's with Steve getting all romantic over there with the lights?
Yeah, I know.
You're lucky because if I did, my phone was about to die. I was about to get disconnected.
Listen, I I heard from a source that has people over there, and he said that Red Bull isn't it,
Okay.
but MLS is it.
Okay.
But it's not the Red Bull. But
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see it's because it's catching steam, and he's the one that also told me too that the Timo Werner thing is like a very good possibility.
Oof. Okay. So and that's what I was expecting because my follow-up question was, which one are you gonna prefer, Timo or Thomas?
None of them.
No. Who did you want to see?
Dude, I want to see the people that we have right now. Like these kids, like don't
Wow.
don't take away these kids' shot for an old man. Like you could have a team win, and these guys could be the foundation for what's next for the repeat. Maybe no, it's hard to repeat in the MLS. It hasn't been done since like forever ago. But like, dude, you have something really good with a lot of young talent, or you could just keep pumping out this young talent and make a shitload of bread, and every couple years sign one or two monsters with a bunch of mediocre guys and win.
Rebel will love you as a spokesperson, man. But no, no, I agree partially with what you said. I'm not trying to be Steve with the roller coaster, but I think that we have a chance to make that final push. Yes, Search is great. Mohamed Sofo is great, but there are moments where we would probably need that special player in the moments where Emo is running out of steam, in the moments where Chupo just can't give you a full 100% in the second half. Maybe that player can step up, that third DP. So honestly, I would have loved for it to be Timo, just because as good as Thomas is, as legendary as he is, I think we just, the numbers, the age, we can't go back to MLS 1.0 or MLS 2.0. We have to find a way to get Timo here because his physicality, his speed, he's gonna be helpful
Yes,
for us.
we'll see. We'll see.
Well,
I think I don't know, man. You're the one that's sold on Timo. I'm not. I'm not sold on Timo, but we'll see. We'll see.
all right, so we've reached the end of the show. I don't know what happened to Steve. I think he had an important business call to attend, but we're here to close out the show. Just Jorge, tell me your expectations for the next match. Rebels are gonna play Orlando in Orlando. Orlando, I believe, tied against Philadelphia Union over the weekend. What are you expecting?
I don't want to do the cop out and say a draw.
Again?
Um, but I'm hoping for the Red Bulls' sake they leave there with a point.
Fair enough. I do think that as well. I don't think we are going to have an easy time over there. They're a tough team. Galese is the octopus, El Pulpo. He's going to be hard to get a shot on. But maybe we start seeing Victor Bogats a little bit more than 10 minutes. Um, give him some time to show what he got. I think he's an interesting player. And yeah, do you think we still go with a back four now,
I
or
think you have to.
yeah, yeah,
I think you have to.
yeah? You can't touch a lineup after winning a game.
No, you got to rock the same way. Don't fix it if it ain't broken. He tried to fix it when it wasn't broken. Well, it was kind of broken when he went to New England, and that shit ain't work out.
I love it. I love it. But thank you guys for listening. We're signing off. Have a good one.
Chris, peace.